All right, so get ready because today we're doing a deep dive into something,
A little different.
yeah, a little different. And honestly, I'm kind of excited about this one. This is something that you've all been requesting,
Yes.
and we're finally getting to it. We're diving into your March 2025 horoscope.
Oh, and not just any horoscope. This one comes from Lorenzo.
Uh,
You know, an astrologer known for his, shall we say?
Direct style.
Direct style, yes.
Putting it mildly. Lorenzo has a reputation for brutal honesty, no sugarcoating whatsoever,
Right.
which could be a bit refreshing, to be honest, in a world of just overly positive fluff.
Absolutely.
So we've got excerpts from his Cancer March horoscope PDF.
Yeah.
He covers love, career, money, health.
Yeah.
Really lays it all out there.
A whole
Oh,
9
Lord.
yards. And from the looks of it, March 2025 is going to be a pretty pivotal month for Cancers.
Oh, yeah.
The main themes seem to be revolving around career pressure, some serious personal transformation, and having to make some tough choices.
He definitely doesn't waste any time setting that tone. Lorenzo kicks off the horoscope by saying, welcome to your Cancer March 2025 horoscope. No fluff, no false hope, just the raw truth you need to hear.
Classic Lorenzo.
Yes.
Straight to the point, no chaser. And looking at the astrological transits that are happening in March,
Okay.
this emphasis on those themes makes a lot of sense. So on March 20th, the sun moves from Pisces, which is your 9th house of beliefs and expansion,
Okay.
into Aries, your 10th house of career and public image.
Got it.
That's a pretty significant shift.
So that's where all that career pressure is coming from. And I noticed that he breaks the month down week by week as well, with specific events and influences for each period. From March 1st to the 10th, he says your beliefs and expectations are going to be challenged, forcing you to adapt quickly.
Wow.
Sounds a little intense right off the bat.
Definitely some 9th house energy at work there.
Yeah.
Pushing you to question what you thought you knew and to expand your horizon.
Okay. So then from the 11th to the 20th, things ramp up even more, particularly in your career and your personal life.
Oh, boy.
Lorenzo's basically saying that if you've been avoiding any tough decisions, this is the time that they'll come knocking. No more running away.
Yeah, he's not messing around.
Yep. And then from the 21st to the 31st,
Oh, my gosh.
it sounds like things get really intense.
Okay.
He says it's a time when your future is being rewritten, and all the work that you've put in or haven't put in will show its results. Okay? That's kind of a powerful, if slightly ominous image.
It is. He's really emphasizing personal accountability here.
Right.
The idea that the choices that you make during this period will have lasting effects. It's not all doom and gloom, though. He also says that, Cancers often have more power than they realize, but they tend to play small because it just feels familiar.
Right.
March 2025, according to him, is really going to shake things up and push you out of that comfort zone.
He literally says the past is dead. The question is, are you going to keep dragging its corpse around, or are you ready to step into something bigger? Okay, that's a little dark,
Yeah.
but I'll admit,
A little motivating.
kind of motivating.
Exactly. It's that classic Lorenzo blend of blunt honesty and a push to evolve.
Right.
He sees it as a wake-up call.
Yeah.
A chance to really step into your full potential.
Speaking of wake-up calls, let's move on to love and relationships.
Okay.
Because Lorenzo does not hold back here.
I was going to say,
He basically says that Cancers are putting up with way too much nonsense in their personal lives.
he does. He calls out potential dishonesty, ignoring red flags, and basically tolerating things that you shouldn't.
Yeah.
And astrologically, this ties in with Venus Retrograde in Aries, which happens to be in your 10th house of career and public image.
Oh, okay.
This can bring up some challenges in relationships,
Yeah.
especially those tied to your goals and ambitions.
So it's not just romantic relationships, but also just how you relate to people in your professional life as well.
Exactly. It's about recognizing how your relationships might be supporting or hindering your overall goals.
Interesting.
Then there's Lilith, which moves from Libra, your 4th house of home and family, to Scapio, your 5th house of romance and creativity on March 28th.
Okay.
This transit can stir up some deep emotional stuff related to family past relationships and potentially bring intense, if dramatic, romantic encounters.
Wow. So Lorenzo's advice here is pretty simple. Stop ignoring those red flags and get crystal clear on what you truly want. He's urging Cancers to be brutally honest with themselves about what they're willing to accept in relationships. No more settling.
It's all part of that overarching theme of personal transformation. March 2025 is a time to shed those old patterns
Yeah.
and create relationships that are healthier and more fulfilling.
Right. It's like he's giving you permission to set those boundaries and walk away from anything that's not serving you.
Absolutely. And this applies to career and money matters as well.
Yeah?
He gets very direct, saying you've either been playing smart and laying the groundwork, or you've been coasting and hoping for the best. This month, you reap what you sow.
Oh, now this is where it gets interesting. He says there's a major career shift coming. And if you've been working towards a promotion or trying to switch paths, March presents a real opportunity. But you have to be ready to step up and prove yourself.
And with Mercury retrograde happening in Aries, your 10th house, from March 15th to the 30th, there's a chance for miscommunications delays and maybe even needing to rethink your strategies.
So financially, he doesn't mince words either.
No, he doesn't.
He basically tells Cancers to get serious about their long-term goals and avoid any reckless spending. He actually says wastefulness leads to regret. Pretty harsh.
But true Pluto is currently in Aquarius in your 8th house of shared resources and transformation.
Okay.
So there could be some significant shifts in your financial situation, maybe even power struggles. It's a time to be really careful with your money and avoid any unnecessary risks.
Okay, so we've covered love, career, and money. All pretty intense stuff. What about mental and physical health?
Yeah.
Lorenzo seems to emphasize self-care and setting boundaries to protect your peace.
He is serious about it. With Jupiter and Gemini in your 12th house of the subconscious and Neptune and Saturn both in Pisces, your 9th house, there's a real risk of burnout if you don't prioritize your well-being.
He says, and I quote, "Your body is screaming for balance, rest, and self-care. If you don't listen, expect burnout, stress overload, or an emotional outburst that sets you back."
He doesn't just stop there. He even connects your mental clarity to the people that you surround yourself with.
Oh, interesting.
If someone's energy drains you, he says cut them loose.
Wow.
You don't owe anyone an explanation for protecting your peace.
So it's all connected. Taking care of yourself physically and mentally helps you navigate the challenges in love, career, and finances.
Exactly. It all feeds into that overarching theme of personal transformation that Lorenzo keeps highlighting.
Right, so we've got these big overarching themes for March, but he also breaks it down week by week, right?
He does.
Let's walk through that a bit. From March 1st to the 10th, he focuses on those challenged beliefs and expectations requiring quick adaptation.
Right. That's the sun in Pisces in your 9th house, really pushing you to broaden your perspectives and question those old assumptions.
Then from the 11th to the 20th, there's that increasing pressure in both your career and personal life, potentially serving as a wake-up call if you've been avoiding any difficult decisions.
This is where Venus retrograde and Lilith's transit really start to become prominent, highlighting those relationship challenges and the need to face some hard truths.
And finally, from the 21st to the 31st, it's all about rewriting your future and taking control.
That's because the sun has moved into Aries, your 10th house, by this pipe.
Gotcha.
The focus is on career, public image, and your long-term goals. It's a time for action and realizing your ambitions.
Lorenzo also mentions a few specific dates and events that stand out as particularly significant.
Okay.
On March 14th, there's a total lunar eclipse in Virgo, which falls in your 3rd house of communication.
Interesting.
He suggests that this could bring a major communication breakthrough or a moment of intense emotional clarity.
That's interesting because the 3rd house also governs siblings and short journeys. So there could be some developments in those areas too.
Then on March 20th, the sun enters Aries, your 10th house.
Right.
Officially shifting the focus to your career and public recognition.
This is where those themes of ambition and taking charge really takes center stage.
And lastly, on March 29th, we have a new moon and a partial solar eclipse, both in Aries, also in your 10th house.
Wow.
Lorenzo says that this could trigger a major reset in your career, maybe even your overall life direction.
That's a potent combination of astrological influences.
It is.
Definitely signifying new beginnings and possibly a total overhaul of your goals. What strikes me is just Lorenzo's unwavering focus on personal responsibility. You know, it's like he's saying, here's the astrological landscape, but ultimately you're the one who's in the driver's seat.
Yeah. It's refreshing, right? No mystical mumbo-jumbo, just straight talk about how to navigate these cosmic energies. I love how he breaks down the specific planetary influences that are shaping this month for Cancers.
Right. Let's dive into those. So as we mentioned, the sun starts the month in Pisces, your 9th house of beliefs and expansion.
Yeah.
And it stays there until March 20th.
Okay.
So this suggests that the first part of March is all about broadening your horizons, pushing past limitations, and maybe even questioning some long-held beliefs.
So it's almost like a period of preparation for the bigger shifts that come later in the month.
Exactly. It's about laying the groundwork, expanding your mindset, and getting ready for a major leap forward.
Okay.
And speaking of leaps, on March 20th, the sun moves into Aries, your 10th house of career and public image.
Right.
This is when things really kick into high gear on the professional front.
And Lorenzo doesn't hold back here either.
He does not.
He basically says you either step up and seize the opportunities, or you watch as others take the lead.
It's a time to be bold, assertive, and really own your ambitions.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a twist.
Oh.
Venus, the planet of love, beauty, and values,
Okay.
is retrograding in Aries, your 10th house, from March 2nd to 27th.
I was wondering that would come up, and he specifically links Venus retrograde to potential challenges in relationships, especially those connected to career goals or ambitions.
It's fascinating how he sees, these seemingly separate spheres of life as intertwined.
Right.
He's saying that your relationships can either support or sabotage your professional aspirations during this time.
So it's not just about working hard, but it's also about taking stock of the people that you surround yourself with and how they impact your journey.
Absolutely. Are they cheering you on?
Yeah.
Or are they holding you back? That's something to consider during Venus retrograde.
Okay.
And then on March 28th, Venus moves back into Pisces, your 9th house.
Does that signal a shift in energy?
Definitely. Lorenzo suggests that as Venus returns to Pisces, there's a focus on, learning from past experiences and love and seeing the bigger picture in relationships.
So it's a time for reflection, for understanding those patterns that haven't served you.
Right.
And making more conscious choices moving forward.
Precisely. And we can't forget about Lilith.
Oh, yes.
A powerful force in astrology that represents our shadow selves.
Okay.
Those hidden desires and fears that we often suppress.
Oh, Lilith is always interesting. Where does she fit into the mix this month?
So Lilith begins March in Libra, your 4th house of home and family.
Okay.
But then moves into Scorpio, your 5th house of romance and creativity, on March 28th.
Gotcha. And Lorenzo links this transit to some pretty intense themes. Family conflicts, unearthing old emotional wounds, the need to break free from toxic cycles at home,
Wow.
and even the potential for intense, maybe even dramatic romantic encounters.
It's like all this hidden emotional baggage is coming to the surface.
Yeah.
Demanding to be acknowledged and dealt with. No more sweeping things under the road.
And he doesn't offer any easy solutions, does he?
He does not.
He basically says you have to confront these challenges head on and be willing to cut ties with anything or anyone that's hindering your growth.
It's about reclaiming your power.
Uh-huh.
Setting boundaries and saying enough is enough.
Yeah. This theme of transformation extends to your career and finances as well.
It does.
Right. Mercury goes retrograde in Aries, your 10th house, from March 15th to 30th.
And Lorenzo cautions about potential miscommunications delays.
Okay.
And the need to rethink your professional strategies during this period.
It's like everything's being put to the test.
It is.
You need to be flexible, adaptable, and willing to adjust your approach as needed.
But it's not a time to panic.
Right.
He also views this as an opportunity to refine your skills and come out stronger on the other side. As he says, if you've been putting in the work and laying the groundwork, you'll navigate these challenges with more ease and confidence.
It's a reminder that the challenges that we face often prepare us for greater success down the line.
Exactly. Now, on the financial front, Lorenzo brings our attention to Pluto, which is currently transiting through Aquarius in your 8th house of shared resources and transformation.
Okay. He suggests that this could bring about significant shifts in your financial situation, possibly involving shared resources, debts, or even power struggles.
It's definitely a time to be extra mindful of your finances, avoid taking any unnecessary risks,
Yeah.
and be prepared for potential changes in your income or spending habits.
He even mentions Mars, which spends the entire month in Cancer, your 1st house.
Yes, he associates this transit with a surge in personal energy and drive,
Right.
but also the potential for frustration and impulsiveness.
So it's like you have all this energy, but you need to channel it wisely.
Exactly. Acting impulsively could create more problems than it solves. It's about finding a balance between taking bold action and being strategic in your approach.
And it all circles back to his emphasis on mental and physical health, doesn't it?
It does.
That need to create balance and take care of yourself amidst all this intensity.
Absolutely. He's not joking when he warns about burnout, stress overload, or emotional outbursts if you neglect self-care.
Yeah.
With Jupiter in Gemini, your 12th house, and Neptune and Saturn in Pisces, your 9th house, there's a lot of mental and emotional energy swirling around.
He even goes so far as to say that your mental clarity is directly tied to the people you choose to surround yourself with.
And he encourages you to distance yourself from anyone whose energy drains you or brings you down. It's about protecting your peace and creating an environment that supports your well-being.
He's not afraid to dish out the tough love.
No, he's not.
But it's clear that it comes from a place of wanting you to thrive, not just survive.
Exactly. He sees self-care as essential for navigating the challenges and opportunities that March 2025 presents.
Now, in addition to these broader astrological influences, Lorenzo highlights a few specific dates and events that hold particular significance for Cancers. On March 14th, there's a total lunar eclipse in Virgo, which falls in your third house of communication.
He suggests this could trigger a major communication breakthrough, maybe a sudden realization,
Wow.
or a moment of deep emotional clarity.
It's like those hidden truths are finally coming to light, and you're able to express yourself more authentically.
Right. And remember, the third house also rules siblings and short journeys,
Uh-huh.
so there could be some developments in those areas as well.
Perhaps an important conversation with a sibling or a short trip that shifts your perspective. It's a time to be open to new experiences and unexpected conversations.
Then, on March 20th, the sun enters Aries, your 10th house,
Right.
marking a significant shift towards your career and public image.
Your ambitions are taking center stage.
Exactly. You may find yourself stepping into a more visible role
Uh-huh.
or feeling more driven to pursue leadership opportunity.
It's a time for boldness, calculated risks, and pursuing your goals with passion and determination.
And then on March 29th, we have a new moon and a partial solar eclipse, both occurring in Aries, also in your 10th house.
Lorenzo describes this as a potential turning point for your career, perhaps even a complete reset in your overall direction.
It's a powerful combination of astrological events that signals new beginnings
Wow.
and a chance to redefine your professional path.
This eclipse could bring unexpected opportunities, sudden shifts, and a renewed sense of purpose.
It's about embracing change and being open to the possibilities that unfold.
So looking back at Lorenzo's predictions for March 2025, it's clearly a month of intense transformation for Cancers.
It is.
There are challenges, decisions, and a whole lot of emotional energy to navigate.
But within those challenges lie incredible opportunities for growth
Yeah.
and creating a life that aligns with your deepest desires.
As Lorenzo would say, it's all about whether you rise to the occasion or let fear hold you back.
It's a potent message and one worth pondering. What aspects of Lorenzo's forecast resonate most strongly with you?
For me, it's that unwavering emphasis on personal responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
It's a powerful reminder that we have the ability to shape our own destinies, even amidst these swirling astrological influences.
I completely agree. It's empowering to realize that we're not just passive passengers on this cosmic ride.
Yeah.
We have choices to make, actions to take, and the ability to create positive change in our lives.
It's almost like Lorenzo's giving us a cosmic pep talk, like, hey, life's going to throw some curveballs, but you've got this.
Exactly, and that's what makes his approach so compelling.
Right.
He doesn't shy away from the challenges, but he really empowers you to face them head on.
Remember that line from the intro where he says, if you've been looking for excuses, this isn't the place for you.
Oh, yeah.
But if you're ready to face what's coming and make the best of it, let's get into it.
Classic.
Yeah, that's such a Cancer thing to do, to face things head on.
It is.
Even the tough stuff. It's not always easy, but it's definitely a strength. And Lorenzo's advice really plays into that. He lays out some key areas where Cancers need to take action this month,
Okay.
starting with love and relationships.
Right.
He's urging Cancers to be honest with themselves about what they truly desire in a partner and to stop settling for less than they deserve. This is about setting boundaries and walking away from situations that no longer serve you.
Right.
Then he moves on to career, and he's even more direct here.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, okay, Cancer, time to step up and shine.
Yeah.
He literally says, you're either rising to the top or being left behind.
There's no middle ground with Lorenzo.
Nope.
He's challenging you to take ownership of your ambitions and seize the opportunities that come your way.
He's definitely a fan of taking initiative.
He is.
And considering Mercury retrograde is happening in your career sector, he reminds us to be mindful of communication breakdowns and to be flexible enough to adjust your strategies as needed.
Right. That flexibility is key, especially during Mercury retrograde. It's about staying adaptable and not getting too attached to a specific outcome.
When it comes to finances, Lorenzo's all about responsibility and planning for the long term.
Yes.
He cautions against impulsive spending and emphasizes the importance of making smart strategic decisions with your money.
He's not trying to scare anyone, but he's definitely highlighting the potential for financial shifts and even power struggles, especially with Pluto transiting through your 8th house.
Right.
It's a reminder to be aware of your resources and avoid unnecessary risks.
And of course, he brings it all back to self-care. Lorenzo's a big believer in prioritizing both your mental and physical well-being.
Absolutely.
He's adamant about avoiding burnout and stress overload, And his advice about surrounding yourself with people who lift you up and distancing yourself from those who drain your energy is spot on.
It's about creating a supportive environment where you can truly thrive.
It's about honoring your needs and setting boundaries to protect your peace.
Exactly. Lorenzo's Cancer March 2025 horoscope is a wake-up call, a guide to navigating a month of intense transformation, and ultimately a reminder that you have the power to shape your own destiny.
We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
We have.
But I think the core message is clear. Take responsibility for your choices, be bold in your pursuits, and don't forget to take care of yourself along the way.
That's it in a nutshell. And remember, even though this horoscope is specifically for Cancers, these themes of personal responsibility, self-awareness, and courageous action are universal.
Right.
We all have the power to create positive change in our lives.
So as we wrap things up, I want to ask you directly, what resonated most with you today? What insights will you take with you into March 2025? What actions will you take to create a life that truly aligns with your dreams?
Lorenzo has given us a lot to think about. I hope this deep dive has provided you with some clarity, some inspiration, and maybe even a little cosmic nudge to step into your full potential.
Thanks for joining us on this astrological journey.
Yes, thank you.
We'll be back soon with more deep dives into the fascinating world of astrology and self-discovery.
Sounds good.
Until then, stay curious and keep reaching for the stars.